Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope that you're all well and safe, looking after yourselves and your families, and just staying indoors and getting plenty of bench time. This is a bit of a bench update. I was going to do separate videos, but I decided to just cram it all into one. Talking about videos, I really appreciate all the videos that are coming up on YouTube from you guys. Thanks a lot. It helps pass the time away, and there's some great builds out there with the big group build, the Corona 500 is it, and obviously the Stewart appreciation builds, which is where I'm going to start with this one. So if you recall, I'm doing Tamiya's 1/35 scale Krupp Protz, and this will be part of the Big Dio that I'm doing. This is the stage it's at present. The rear comes off, and so does the cab. The seating's glued to the chassis, but those two parts come off. And Tamiya kit, so as you would expect, just a really nice, enjoyable build. It went together really well. The only issue I did have was it didn't seem to be sitting on all its wheels at some stage, but that seems to have rectified itself somehow. The front wheels steer, which is quite good. I've done a bit of battle damage, or just careless driving damage on the front. We got this, is that the fender, is that what you call that in the States? That's bent in a bit, and the bumper is bent in as well slightly. So as I say, this is practically built. I've got to put the headlights on at some stage, and the windscreen's got to go on once painted. The only thing that I wanted to get sorted out was I'd bought another kit to go with this, and it's the Dragon 1/35 scale 37mm anti-tank gun, the German anti-tank gun. But there was a specially designed Krupp Protz for the pulling of artillery. This is the personnel carrier, so if you see photos on the internet from World War II, you'll see the different variant where you had two guys sat in the cab, and then you had two guys sat behind, and then you had ammo boxes for the 37mm rounds, and then you'd have two guys sat here. These guys would be sat facing forward, and these two at the back would be facing rearward. So this isn't the right variant of the Krupp Protz for me to have with the 37mm. I know it sounds a bit nerdy, but I try to get as much right as I can. So I can't use the 37mm with this, so I want to use it as a infantry carrier. Now, on the internet, I know that the driver, I need a pointer. So the driver had his rifle, the butt of the rifle went in a plate down here, and it came up, and then it went into like a latch, so the barrel was pointing upwards, and I assumed the passenger had a similar thing. What I'm struggling to find, my mate Steve Mottram's told me that they did have them, was rifle racks within the rear of the vehicle, and what they look like and where they were. A lot of photos I've seen, the infantrymen are holding the rifles, but Steve says that they did have racks in the back. So once I sort that detail out, I can perhaps get this start getting this painted. This wheel, none of the wheels, sorry, the actual driving wheels, the six on the axles, they've got poly caps, so they'll pull off, and I've just blue tacked these two on either side for the moment, just so I can take them off and paint them. So really enjoyable build, and it'll look really good as part of the Big Dio project. So the next thing I'll show you is just a little bit more of an update on the Big Dio, and I'll just get those now. Okay guys, so as I say, very small update on the Big Dio. The only thing that I've done is I've added the jerry cans to this particular Panzer II. Obviously the jerry cans are 1/35 scale Tamiya generic jerry cans. So these two painted Panzer grey for petrol or diesel. I can't remember what the tanks ran on. I got an idea it was petrol, but and then this jerry can's in field grey with a white cross on it. That denotes that it was used for water, and should only be used for water, because although these things could be flushed out, they still were contaminated, and there's stories in the desert where people were drinking from jerry cans that were previously had petrol in them, and they could taste the petrol for months afterwards from the can. So the strap is just a bit of wine bottle lead painted khaki. Unfortunately, I had to put this in situ and then paint it, so I've got khaki over the top of my jerry can, so I've got to repaint those at some stage. But the three tanks are practically at the same stage. I've just noticed that I haven't got the Gross Deutschland insignia on the fender of the front tank, and so then I think I'm going to weather the front tank a bit more as well. The London grey doesn't seem to be as pronounced as on the others, so I just need to sort that out, and then I can start looking at giving them all a flat coat, and then trying to do some weathering. What I want to do is try and use a filter, try and use a bit more highlighting and things like that, weather the tracks a bit, and then everything's got to have like that dust effect over them because of the June 41 and the dusty roads that were present during Barbarossa. So that's oh, I've got one other update I'll quickly show you on this one. So in the Tamiya Churchill tank, isn't the Mark 7, they give you, I don't know, it's 3 or 4 figures, but one of the figures is a what I think is a Frenchman, could be a Belgian, and he's got some wine and bread in a handcart. So I nicked the handcart from that kit, and I'll have it in the Dio, and basically I'll have a chef or something handing out bread to the troops, or you know, they're gathering around him and he's handing it out. So just a little thing to add a bit more interest to the Dio. So that's it for the Big Dio at the moment. My battery's running out on my camera, so I shall quickly show you the progress on the Tiger build that I'm doing with Paul, Sean, Steve and Greg, which we're calling Stuck in the House build. So here it is. This is, as you may remember, Zvezda's Tiger 1. Going together really well, really enjoying this kit again. I've got to be honest, I prefer constructing stuff over painting and weathering stuff, I really do. But there we go. It's all that you see there is glued down, so the deck is glued and everything. The brass, I've got some brass mesh over the top of the grills here. They were kindly given to me by Greg Riley. I needed some mesh for something else, and he sent me the mesh covers for the Tiger. Although they were for the Tamiya one, they fitted okay on this Zvezda one, so I've used them for that instead. So thanks to Greg for that. The only other thing to show on this is the road wheels. So there we go, that's the road wheels painted. A lot of them have got the grey rubber around the outside of them. Some of them I need to do the rear surface of the grey rubber, and then those will be ready to give a gloss coat or whatever, and look to weather them once the rest of the Tiger's painted up. So there you go guys, as I say, I just wanted to give you a bench update. And as I said before at the beginning of this video, please stay safe. Let's get through this and out the other side, and then we can get back to some normality, hopefully. I'm still hoping to get to Atlanta in November. Whether that will happen, I don't know. Whether the travel restrictions will be lifted, I don't know. I have bought my flights, paid for the flights. And somebody was saying to me, well, perhaps you can go after, if you can't go in November. Well, the whole point is to go in November to go to the Acme in order to see as many of you guys as possible. So if it doesn't happen in November, then it won't happen until 12 months afterwards, which will be a shame. Anyway, I'm waffling. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon.